Earlier in the year, I grabbed a couple Rogue Trader Orcs and some modern versions from Knightmare games. October was the perfect time to paint these boys up. The first Space Orc is special because I was looking for minis made in 1987, the year I was born. I found this Rogue Trader known amazingly as Squatty Squatter, and later named Korgar the Armored, or simply Bolta 4. He's a tiny dude compared to modern orcs. Next from 1989, 2 listings, Orc Boss, Bionic Arm and Custom Weapon 1, and also just an Orc Renegade. Next is quite an amazing Orc, Knightmare Games Space Raider. I don't know the specific model as it's not on the Knightmare Games site. It's very close to this Orc Boss. I had bought a Kickstarter lot of Knightmare games and I'm assuming this is an exclusive from one of their Kickstarters, though it's clearly inspired by old school Orcs. And last but not least, another Knightmare Orc, this time Chaos Orc 4. I went with orange with Squatty. I wanted to get that October Halloween tie-in. For the bosses, I wanted to go similar to the Knightmare Orc boss, Corn Red for the Rogue Trader Renegade, and the Fistin Red for the Knightmare. This way each mini is unique but easy enough to compare still. I still have trouble with yellow, but I'm getting better. I first based the yellow bits with the base red, followed up with GW Layer Uriel Yellow, then a bunch of coats of Pro Acryl Transparent Yellow. I really like the color scheme of the red, yellow, and blue. I'll probably revisit this in the future. It's definitely Iron Man-esque. I based with sand and a few larger cork pieces. Now the Chaos Orc. I mostly followed the picture on the Knightmare Games site, and then I realized the chaosy arm and decided to make it stand out a bit more. Here we have the spinning shot of all 4 painted up. I really love these, especially the 2 red bosses. I actually went back and fixed up Squatty's face after I found the painted catalog. I had thought that his mouth was open, but it's actually closed and it looks much better. I've mentioned this in other videos, I just find these old school sculpts to have so much character. Orcs with GW or Citadel go way back, pre-Rogue Trader actually. The LE1 Space Orc with a C, a box of Space Orc Raiders followed in 1987, which is a set I'll now hunt for on eBay. I really want one with the box, it's really cool. Now if you're like me, yes we can search on eBay for hours, searching through Space Orc or Orc Raiders or OOP and Metal, all are good search terms to use to help sort through everything on eBay. While you may stumble into some deals, most of these minis will be in the $10 to $20 a piece range, with certain going for even more. A lot of them are in the UK, so for me in the US, that's an exchange rate and shipping issue. It quickly gets expensive. So I sat here and thought to myself, there has to be sculptors creating old school sci-fi orc minis in the modern day. My findings? Not so much. If fantasy orcs are your thing, you're in luck. There are plenty to choose from. I'll make a video and blog post in the future, but for now I'm focused on sci-fi. We'll start with Knightmare Games with their Space Raiders line. This is a mixture of orcs, chaos warriors, bounty hunters, and monsters. All fantastic minis. Let's sort by orcs and goblins, which brings us 18 products. Big Tank, a big orc in power armor. Commando Captain, a commando with a C wearing a wolf head hat. Orc Commando Squad, a set of 4 orc commandos, and a set that includes all 5 at a discount. All of these commandos would be great extras in Kill Team. Crom Fatbelly, a savage-looking orc with a power axe. Morcus Masher, a cyborg. Orc arm set, which is coming soon. Different sized orc arms, which would be great for those old metal minis on eBay that come without arms. Orc Boss. Orc Luda Boss. Next, a bunch of Chaos Orcs. Chaos Orc 2, Chaos Orc 3, Chaos Orc 4, painted in this video. Chaos Orc 5. Hybrid Orc. Thorgar the Fixer. Warnog, a big orc boss. Wazak Ironjaw, a cool looking orc in power armor with a power claw. Last but not least, Space Goblins, a full squad of 11 Space Goblins ready to follow Crom Fatbelly into battle. These are very much Space Gretchen, but they're sculpted by Kevin Goblin Master Adams of former Citadel fame. Next we have Warmonger Miniatures, more amazing old school sculpts. Basically everything is fantasy except for a single Space Orc mini. CP Models has 15mm Space Orcs if that scale is your thing. Die Hard Miniatures, a favorite of mine, has a trio of sci-fi orcs with a bit of a more modern design. Brutus Orc-Merc with a 3-barreled minigun. A skeletal orc with a power weapon, and a zombie orc with a gun. That was really all I could find for sci-fi orcs with that old school vibe. Cromlech and Spellcrow come close, but no cigar for me. They have awesome sculpts, don't get me wrong. The Greatcoat and Africa Corps orcs are amazing, but a little bit too modern for what I'm looking for. Since I found so many great fantasy orc and Rogue Trader inspired minis while researching, I'll definitely make a follow-up at some point in the future. Do you know of any vintage-styled space orcs? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see pictures of my vintage and vintage-inspired orcs currently in my collection, a link to my blog post is in the description and pinned comment. See you all with a new video soon.